The following segments are pre-recorded and sponsored by Longworth Productions.
Major funding for Triad Today comes from Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, making healthcare better for all. A small business center on Triad Today. Hello everyone, I'm Jim Longworth. Welcome to another edition of Triad Today, coming to you once again from the Kernersville Auto Museum. We'll tell you more about the museum later on, and later on is when the roundtable shows up, and we'll get into all sorts of controversy with those guys, so stay tuned. Between now and then, some great information coming your way. And where we want to start is with a first-time visitor to the show. Felicia Lewis is director of the Small Business Center at Alamance Community College. Welcome, good to see you.
Thank you, sir.
What is the Small Business Center?
So the Small Business Center is a community hub that's designed to help small businesses that want to get started, or entrepreneurs who are considering whether or not they want to get started, and also those businesses that have been around a while if they want to stabilize.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Yeah. So, you know, if I've got a business that maybe I'm struggling a little bit or I need some help, I can take advantage of this.
Absolutely.
All right, give me a couple examples of services that you would offer to somebody starting up.
First thing we're going to do is help you define your business, write your business plan, determine what it is that you want to do and what direction you want to go in. Then we'll start to look at how do you now start to implement your plan, get your strategies together, marketing, how you're going to actually reach those customers that you want, and then find access to capital to get you going.
Absolutely. What types of businesses are you seeing start up the most or trying to start up? Not just in Alamance County, but in the area, because you serve a lot of folks in that region. But what are you seeing? We're
seeing a lot of service-based businesses, home-based businesses as well. There is a slight uptick actually in those looking for retail spaces, things that they want to do in that arena as well. E-commerce is a major platform that people are now moving to so they can tap into other segments and broader audiences.
Right.
So we're seeing a lot of that.
Yeah. Now, what are some of the biggest obstacles that people face when they're trying to start a business and they come to you and they say, hey, what do you think? I mean, what are the obstacles?
Access to capital is probably the number one. Knowing that it's not always wise to use up your whole savings to start a new business. You want to have a plan that somebody else can invest in, right, and get behind that. So that's probably one of the number one obstacles. Beyond that, it's always going to come back to marketing and knowing who your target audience is.
It's fine to have a new business, but if nobody knows it's around, exactly, then you got a problem. And you're right. A lot of times they forget to do the marketing part of the budget. What word of advice would you have for somebody that says to you, Felicia, I've got this dream I wanted to do, but I'm just sort of sitting on the sidelines. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, but I've had this dream. What do you tell them?
Don't wait, start now. Run to the nearest small business center. Part of that is because you want to make sure that you have time to develop it. I often equate it to somebody planning or preparing for a new baby or planning for a wedding. It takes time, and you need that time to make sure that you have all of your ducks in a row. Don't wait to try to be perfect or you think you have it all together. You need the benefit of time.
Let me put you on the spot. We didn't rehearse this or anything, but do you ever get any feedback from people that have been helped by the advice at the Small Business Center, or any what kind of feeling do you get that maybe you're making a difference, or what do you hear?
Yeah, it's always good to have the feedback. Sometimes they let us know, hey, we need more of this or that, but the ones who come back and tell us all the good stories, it's amazing, and they share, they let others know we're making a difference.
You really are, and I appreciate that. Hey, but before we run out of time here, are you offering any upcoming programs or events or activities that we should know about?
Yeah, I'm really glad you asked about that. This Saturday, as a matter of fact, June 13th, we will have our annual All-Access Triad Small Business Summit. It's an all-day event, and it will run from 9 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
So if you're watching this early Saturday morning, you still have time to get it. If you're watching Sunday, you've missed it, but there'll be more stuff later on.
There'll be more stuff, yes.
That's right, up on screen. The general website is alamancecc.edu, and you can navigate all sorts of portals to find out what's going on. Yeah. Felicia Lewis, thanks. What you're doing is making a big difference for people, and that helps drive the economy too. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We'll be right back after this.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, we get it.
Really?
Really. That's why we're making healthcare better for all. Starting with you. Yes, you, Daryl. We're making plans easier to navigate by putting your benefits, prescriptions, and details all in one place. Convinced?
No. But it's a start.
We'll take it. Blue Cross North Carolina. Making healthcare better for all. Starting with you.
Back now on Triad Today, I'm excited about meeting these three guests, first-time visitors to the show. On my immediate right, Laura Way is President and CEO of the Arts Council of Greater Greensboro. Laura brought along two special guests of her own. Next to her is Tracy Marshall Becker, founder of the Marshall Muse Gallery, and rounding out the group, Michael Clapp, architect extraordinaire and founder of the Proxy. Good to see everybody.
Good morning.
Laura, I heard you speak before about something called the creative economy. What do you mean by that?
So the creative economy is made up of artists, small businesses, arts organizations that are driving economic impact in our community. They employ people, they purchase goods and services, they pay taxes. So that is part of the creative economy. In Guilford County in 2023, the creative economy contributed $247 million.
How much?
$247 million.
Wow.
It's not a little number.
And that was done just between these two people.
Yes, exactly.
Tracy, let me ask you something. Now, what inspired you to invest in a studio and a gallery, and what challenges or obstacles did you face along the way to do it?
Well, I think art has always been in my blood. I had a gallery. I opened my first gallery at 26, downtown Greensboro.
Wow.
And then I took a break, married 3 girls, and I knew it was always going to come back around. And when the youngest got her permit, I looked at my husband and said, I'm ready.
You're out of
Let's do
here.
it. Yeah.
And you did it.
So it was always going to come back around.
What kind of vision did you have for once you started it and got back into it? What kind of vision did you have for what impact you wanted it to have on Greensboro?
I wanted a community for artists and creatives and art lovers to come together. We're open 7 days a week. We have studio spaces, classes, workshops, music events. We have yoga and Tai Chi in the morning. I want it to be a main place where you can come in, be creative, be comfortable, engage. We even have scavenger hunts for kids so the parents can take a look at the art in each space. But I want it for all ages. I want it for all types, for emerging artists.
Sure.
I want the whole package.
And the kids have to come back once they found something, or they just keep going.
Well,
yeah,
they keep going. Then they get a prize at the end.
That's right.
You got to cultivate from a young age.
Yeah. Hey, Michael, everybody knows you've been still are a very successful architect. Okay, so here's the question: you decided to launch the Proxy Design Gallery. What inspired that decision?
It's a great question, and I have a huge passion for the discipline of architecture, and I think first and foremost, I have always considered that a very creative pursuit. It's one that starts from the art and then gets into the how does one bring it about via structures and codes and everything. But to begin with the artistic conscience in conceptualizing a project, that's really where Proxy originated from, was a space that we could show some of the inner workings of conceptual development, of design, and how we engage with it every day. And so Proxy became a space where we can not only host exhibitions of contemporary art, but also really delve into kind of the inner workings of the broader discipline, whether that's graphic design, industrial design, or otherwise.
In accomplishing all that, what has it taught you about the challenges and opportunities for creative entrepreneurs?
I think there are a wealth of opportunities in Greensboro. As a board member of the Arts Council, I see other organizations like Tracy's and many in Greensboro really leveraging the creative potential that we have in town, with not only a wealth of supply of young creatives and creatives later in life that want to kind of get back to that childhood curiosity. But the support that we get from the Arts Council, as well as the community itself,
crucial,
has been really special.
Now we have a couple seconds left, Laura. Just you partially answered this before, but why is it so important for not just elected officials and leaders, but just regular folks like myself? Why is it important for me to care about the arts?
Well, I'll give you a few examples. We all know Nashville, Austin, let's think of 5 other, Asheville. All these cities that are known for their arts, and you like, oh, I'm going to go to Austin and have a great time.
Right.
Well, those cities aren't built on arts. It is their brand. So what the arts do when it becomes our brand and we get behind it, it makes the place we live special.
Absolutely.
And you'll
Absolutely.
spend money, you'll bring business, and you will thrive.
All right, up on screen, the aacgg.org, which just gets you to the Arts Council of Greater Greensboro. The Marshall Muse Gallery is up on the screen, as well as Proxy-Gallery, proxy-gallery.com. Please check that out if you would. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
For all you're doing
Thanks
for the
for having
community.
us.
That
We'll
was
be
neat.
right back after this. Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you that Triad Today also airs on GTN Spectrum Channel 13 and streams on WFMY Plus, free on Roku and Amazon Fire. Back now on Triad Today, I'm so glad to be speaking with this very special guest who dropped by today, the Reverend Paul Robeson Ford, Senior Consultant for Action for Equity. We're going to find out all about that in a second. Good to see you, young man.
Good to see you too, man. Thank you for the opportunity.
What is the mission of Action for Equity, if you had to sort of capsulize it?
Yeah. So I think one of the great ways to capsulize is to think about Action for Equity as an organization that is organizing for collective impact to change policies, practices, and structures, right, in order to create the conditions where all of our children can thrive, but particularly black children can thrive.
Now, what are some specific programs or activities that you offer maybe that helps you achieve that mission?
Yeah. One of the major initiatives that we've been a part of here in more recent months is the How Are the Children campaign, which encapsulates a lot of this work that goes back to the mission that I was referencing just a moment ago in terms of organizing partners, organizing this community for a level of investment, both public and private, that is unprecedented in the 7 vital conditions that are so central to creating that sort of ecosystem where all of our children can thrive and all of our children are well.
Maybe for folks at home who don't have kids, or their kids are grown, and maybe they've lost their perspective on that. Maybe they're old white folks like me sitting around that. So I want you to be specific. What's an obstacle? What's a problem that exists, especially for black youth, that we need things like this?
Right. Poverty, right? When you think about the history of this country, we have implemented wars on crime, we've implemented wars on drugs, we've done that to fidelity, it's led to mass incarceration, that's led to so much of the damage that's been done to our communities. But the one thing that Lyndon Johnson talked about a long time ago that we never fully implemented was a war on poverty.
Absolutely.
And our school systems around the country, in Winston-Salem, Forsyth County Schools is no exception, are now majority students who are coming from families that are facing the challenges of poverty. And students that are walking into schools, students that are moving through community, young people that are moving through community, facing the challenges of poverty, are carrying with them a level of challenges and barriers and obstacles to success that are difficult for people who have either never lived through similar circumstances or who certainly are not now to relate to, in terms of housing instability, in terms of barriers to reliable transportation, in terms of food insecurity, in terms of families not having the resources to access the activities that keep children, safe and thriving during these summer months.
Right, but here's the big question. How can the community help? How should the community help? What do you need from the community?
What we need from the community is a level of investment that first of all starts with the mindset that our children are treasures to behold. That, as Christian scriptures talk about, our children are the holders to the keys to the kingdom of heaven, right? And so that we have to do everything that we can in terms of investing our time, talent, and treasure in them. And that does mean getting into the difficult conversations about raising taxes so that our county governments and city governments have the revenue streams that they need to invest in equipping the organizations that are doing tremendous work, reaching our young people, to expand their capacity to reach all of the young people, especially the ones that are hardest to chase down and get a hold of.
We can all sort of get caught up in our own selfish thing. I know that, my wife and I'll sit there and say, well, I don't want them to raise the tax because our property tax will be more. And you know, when you stop and think about it, well, if we did raise it a few cents here and there, maybe it'll go to help abate some of the problems you're talking about.
Exactly
we don't
right.
often take time to think about that because it's all about us, you know, but we need to be thinking about that.
Well, look, and I go back to that. I mean, Bible talks about to whom much is given, much is required, right? And
Right.
so the more that we have been blessed with just wealth and stability and comfort, the more that we are in position to help those who have not been blessed with that. And I would say the more of an obligation we have to do so, even if it means, a few dollars more over the course of the year on your property taxes.
Absolutely. Up on screen, Action for Equity, that 4 is a number 4, actionforequityws.org.
Yeah.
Hope you'll check that out. Lots of things to learn and get involved with on that. And also, thanks to the good folks at the Winston-Salem Foundation. Check out wsfoundation.org, who helped to make this segment possible and this conversation with the wonderful Reverend Paul Robeson Ford. Thanks for all you're doing.
Thank you so much.
All right, young man.
All right. Thank you, sir.
We'll be right back after this.
I got free meals. What do you mean? No, seriously, how much did you pay us? I didn't pay anything. I learned how to cook all of these fresh foods that were delivered to my house. Everything in that grocery bag that's fresh, I had a recipe for it, and I know how to cook. It encouraged us to eat better, to shop better, make better decisions.
Back now on Triad Today, and you know, we've talked about volunteerism before on this show in a different context, but this is fascinating. You talk about volunteers. Here's some great volunteers, and on my immediate right, Linda McKenzie, she's coordinator of something called the Ambassador Program for Piedmont Triad International Airport, and she is next to Darlene Evans and Roger Cheney, who are PTI ambassadors. Good to see all of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you.
Linda, let me start with you quickly. What is the Ambassador Program?
It's our volunteer program at the airport. We established in 1988, so this is our 37th anniversary.
All right.
And we are one of the first airports in the industry to have a volunteer program like this.
Now, how are the volunteers recruited, and how are they selected?
Well, they have a vetting process. They have to go through security threat assessment, have to be fingerprinted and all that, very tough security.
Right.
And then we have them come in and shadow with a current volunteer, just to get acclimated to the airport environment.
Right.
And once they do that, ready to go solo, we do some one-on-one training.
Okay.
And we, of course, outfit them in the uniforms.
And I will say, on the from the get-go, as we hear from Darlene and Roger. Roger, I think you've been an ambassador for 25 years?
That's right.
Darlene, is this your first or second year?
Almost my first year.
Oh, almost your first year. And you like Roger?
Oh, we cool.
No, never mind. All right, I'm going to get both of you to answer these quickly for me. Darlene, we'll start with you. How long? We know how long you've been an ambassador. What kind of things do you do as an ambassador?
I try to encourage the travelers to alleviate their stress as they're traveling. If they have any questions at the airport, they're trying to find what airline they're going, what gate, bathroom, to where the rental cars. Whatever that will help make them.
People have a lot of questions, don't they?
They do.
And you're right, it can be stressful. Now, what kind of things do you help with, Roger?
Well, numerous things, but she's right. The stress level of people that come in there, to make them feel comfortable and at ease at the airport, because a lot of people that come up for questions usually are on edge. They really are nervous about being in the airport because they're not used to flying.
Right.
Now, the seasoned people, it's not a problem with.
No.
But most of the people are like that.
You get a lot of questions from first-time flyers.
Exactly.
And of course, people worried if they're going to, have they missed a flight? Are they going to, where can they go? And do you ever get any? I'm going to put you on the spot. We didn't rehearse this. You get any strange questions? Anything funny or strange or whatever? Either one of you?
I had a lady that said, "Do we have a foreign currency?" And I say, "No, we don't have one in Greensboro." And she said, "Well, can't you just fly my money somewhere and get it changed for me?" I said, "No."
Fly her money. I'm going to try that. I'm going to come to the airport. I'm going to ask you that sometime.
I had one where a young student from App State drove all the way in and missed her flight.
Oh, wow.
And she was in tears and totally distraught. And the question she asked me was, would I drive her to Charlotte to pick up the next flight?
Now that sounds like something my wife would ask me. I tell you, so y'all get it all, don't you? All right, before time gets away from us, I'm going to ask all three of you, why did you want to volunteer? Linda?
It's just being able to help people. We call it our Southern style comfort at the airport. And we just are able to relate to people like that, because air travel can be frantic, and you can tell people are just so upset, and it's rewarding for you to help those people.
Right. What about?
Same thing. I love helping others, and so to encourage them to alleviate the stress, so to find their way to the travel, it makes me feel like I did something on that day.
Yeah,
and
right.
you did.
I think it's because the airport makes the volunteers feel like a part of the airport, and they keep us involved in other things besides the information booth. I mean, we do events, we do the 5K, 10K, we help out on all the things that they have going on. They treat us like part of the family.
Run on the runway and some of the things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just great. I tell you, I can't tell you how much I appreciate what all three of you do and your group that you're part of in helping people. Up on screen, you can go to flyfrompti.com for general information about what's going on. And I forgot to ask Linda very quickly before time gets away. If I'm kind of nervous, I want to ask a question. How do I find you at the airport?
We have 4 information booths at the airport, and then we rove around the airport. You can tell the volunteers by how they're all dressed up.
Okay. And Roger got through the screening okay? Is that how he's still here?
He barely made it. But
it was
looks a little dangerous to me.
There's a story to that,
that's
but
right.
that's okay.
Thanks to all of you. I hope you come back sometime, and thanks for everything.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this.
At Sutton Brothers, we're confident we can help you solve your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs.
So confident that we'll fix it or it's free. Our highly trained technicians will diagnose your problem and fix it with either a repair or replacement.
And if we can't fix it, you won't pay the trip fee.
So the next time you have a problem, call us.
We'll make sure you're completely satisfied.
Guaranteed.
Call Sutton Brothers today and be confident things will be done right. Schedule online at suttonbros.com.
Major funding for Triad Today comes from Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, making health care better for all. The Roundtable is brought to you by Sutton Brothers, locally owned and operated and serving all of your HVAC, plumbing, and electrical needs. Back now on Triad Today, just about time for the Roundtable, but a quick shout out to the good folks here at Kernersville Auto Museum. Come on out on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. It's free to see everything, and it's free to see this right here. These three guys. On my right, Ogie Overman. In between, the former president of Randolph Community College, Bob Shackelford, now has his own consulting business, and Keith Granberry, of course, founder of Helping Hands Consultants. Guys, state lawmakers are considering a bill that would allow public school students to be excused from class for up to 4 hours per week to attend religious instruction off campus. Under the bill, students must provide their own transportation and make up any missed schoolwork. Guys, you okay with allowing public school students to miss 4 hours of class per week in order to attend religious instruction? Ogie Overman.
Absolutely not. That's horrible. What happened to separation of church and state? If that does pass, it ought to be appealed all the way.
Bob.
The cumulative effect of those hours is going to be detrimental academically. I think the religious instruction ought to take place after school hours or before school hours.
Keith.
I think religious instruction should take place on Sunday with your family. I don't think you should take away the education. If they want to pray, there should be a certain period of time for kids to pray, or but I wouldn't. 4 hours is a lot.
The valedictorian of Johnson County High School was yanked off stage by the principal during her speech when she started to mention that ICE agents were breaking up families. The girl's diploma was also withheld because her remarks had not been pre-approved by the school. 2 questions, guys. Should students have their graduation speeches censored ahead of time? And are you okay with having her diploma withheld because she didn't get approval, Ogie?
No, no, and no. That's pathetic. That principal ought to be fired and prosecuted. This ought to be a national story, Jim.
It's starting to get legs in that, Bob.
I can understand having some guidance over student speeches. These people spent a lot of money and 4 years of work for their graduation and ought not be interrupted by a political rant, but they have no authority whatsoever to withhold a diploma.
All right, Keith.
I think that when something as dramatic as somebody tearing up your family, and you have freedom of speech, that's what youth is supposed to be about, freedom of speech and education. I don't think that you should censor them.
Representative Virginia Fox is being sued by a Columbia University student because she tried to have him suspended when he protested against Israel. However, members of Congress have what's called blanket immunity, cannot be sued no matter what they say or do. Guys, would you like to see blanket immunity ended for federal officials? Ogie.
Yes, I would, but who decides that? Who votes on it? The actual people.
The people that have the immunity.
Need to be.
That's right. That's right. Bob, what do you think?
No immunity for elected officials all the way up to the president.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what party. I mean, I know we're all kind of split sometimes on things, but Keith, what do you think? Get rid of blanket immunity for?
Well, I think if it's a criminal act, you shouldn't have blanket immunity. But I think that you got to have something for a congressman, else there'll be some serious issues.
Yeah, this is not the first time it came up. Pat Harrigan, the first term congressman, tried to get the Wake Forest instructor fired.
Okay.
President Trump wants to allow private citizens to mail handguns through the U.S. Postal Service rather than requiring the guns to be shipped to a licensed firearms dealer. Good idea or bad idea?
Oh, let's just choose up sides and kill off each other. What a dumb thing to do, as Governor would say.
Yeah, what a dumb thing. Bob, what do you think?
There's no security over who opens the mail. No, you can't. Secure the weapons.
Yeah, that's right. What do you think, Keith? Just ship them to each other, and you can send one to Bob, and Ogie can send one to me. And
yeah,
what do you think?
I'm trying to understand. Are they trying to get votes? I mean, what is this about? It can't be real. I mean, you can't believe that's a good idea.
All right, guys. No, it is. But I mean,
no, it's not a good idea.
No,
but it's real.
Well, law enforcement people and others are saying it's just going to increase, crime and shooting incidents or whatever. But anyway, I mean.
But I think criminals are always going to find a way to get illegal guns.
Oh yeah, because there's more guns in this country than there are people.
Right.
Why don't we just put them in a vending machine?
That's what. Yeah, we'll just do that. All right, guys. Finally, fashion editors. We never do fashion stories. I'm going to do this. Fashion editors at CNN just named the top 3 tummy control swimsuits for women. Guys, if those were available for men, would you wear tummy control swim trunks? Okie Overman.
Probably not at the beach, but I've been gaining weight, Jim. My pants don't fit. I think I'd wear it underneath my clothes.
You do?
To try to I got to do
but
something.
But not on the beach. Bob, would you wear a tummy control swim trunks?
I think I'll trade that in for a body wrap.
Yeah. Keith, if you go to the beach, do you plan to wear a tummy control swim trunks?
Well, I got a 6-pack, so I don't need any tummy control. You can see. I've been working out.
You've been drinking
obviously.
A 6-pack. Been drinking a 6-pack. That's why he thinks he's got a. Well, that's all. That's all the time we have. Well, except for this, Six Flags amusement park in Ohio just kicked a guy out and he's banned him for life because he hid chicken McNuggets in his pants as he was riding the roller coaster. Now, amazingly, the rough ride did not injure his nuggets.
That's the best one you had. That's the best one you had in a long time.
See you next time.